Back in the joyful times of 2020, no sarcasm at all there, Richard Osman, a man best known in popular circles for his work on the TV game show Pointless in the UK, published a book called The Thursday Murder Club. It was a debut crime novel that told the story of a group of pensioners attempting to solve unsolved murders. It was a smash hit and got so much attention I felt inclined to review it here on this channel that despite being it of a genre that I wasn't really into, I was surprised by how addictive that book was. 1 year later, he released The Man Who Died Twice, a sequel to the previous book, which at the time was still on the bestsellers list on Amazon. The second book I also reviewed, and I felt it was more refined than the first. And that brings us here now, my dearest reader. Osman has released another instalment in the Thursday Murder Club series, The Bullet That Missed. But is this tried and tested formula of comedy crime novel wearing thin? Well, let's dive into this latest book and find out. If you're not familiar with this series of books, let me first give you a brief rundown, and let me also say that you will need to have read the previous books to know the many characters in this new one. Each Thursday, 4 pensioners named Elizabeth, Ron, Joyce and Ibrahim from a retirement home called Cooper's Chase meet up and attempt to crack murders that were left unsolved. Each book tells of a new murder, and that formula here is repeated. The group stumble across a murder of an upcoming TV presenter named Bethany Waits. 10 years before, Bethany's car was found smashed at the bottom of a cliff. However, her body was never recovered. The members of the Thursday Murder Club are certainly a quirky group of individuals, and despite their age, they are very perceptive, particularly the leader of the group, Elizabeth Best, who once worked for the British intelligence. Each of the characters has a set of unique personality traits that makes them endearing to the reader, with Joyce arguably being the main character in this series. This tried and tested formula has worked many times in the previous books, and it does continue to function well in this book, but dare I say it is becoming somewhat predictable, and some of the quirks of the previous works feel just a little bit tired in this new one. The plot is solid enough and the twist at the end is a welcome one, but the whole experience of reading this book, despite being enjoyable, was a feeling of more of the same. It seems the Thursday Murder Club is always ahead of its competition, and this trend continues. The expectation for failure vanishes, and you know they will come out on top again. This lack of certainty makes this book feel like a joyful walk instead of a grand adventure, and I was wanting the unexpected, but in a manner far deeper than what this book dares to venture. For some people, this may be no problem. If you like the previous one and you're expecting a similar book, then I have no doubt you'll enjoy this one. But I was left with a feeling of yearning, as if Osman could have made this work more shocking, but instead it plays a very safe game. The main antagonist in this book is the Viking, a mysterious man who is out for blood, but the sudden changes in his attitude throughout this book are very jarring. I won't go any deeper as this book has not long come out, but for those who have read it, how did you feel about this change? To me, the attempt at humour here felt more like a convenience for the plot, and the sudden change seemed just a little far-fetched. His character changed dramatically, and I was left a tad confused by it all. Despite my words here, this is still a joyous book that is as breezy to get through as the previous iterations. Osman has a talent for writing these books, he's good at it, but the more I have of the same thing, the less satisfied I become with it. I was expecting more, instead I got more of the same, which for most people will be fine, but we're on the 3rd book now, and I'm hesitant to pick up the 4th, which has already been announced. If you're looking for an easy and somewhat humorous book, a holiday read as someone described it to me, then this will satisfy you. Start with the first one and work your way up. I think these books are a great means to get people into reading who have since been put off, as these books are rather effortless, yet at the same time very engaging. Osman's characters are remarkably likeable, and it's also a pleasure to revisit them in the retirement village Cooper's Chase. But looking forward, I'd like to see what else Osman is capable of, as these books to me are becoming a bit too similar over time. Would I recommend this for Christmas? It is Christmas book season, you know I have to say it. Yes, if your friend or loved one has enjoyed the previous Osman works, then I'm certain they'll enjoy this one. But if they are expecting something new and different, they may be just a little bit disappointed. This series has certainly become a bit of a phenomenon, so if you do want a book that will make you smile and one that's nice and easy to digest, then give it a try. I felt the second book was my favourite, and all the links to those reviews will be in the video description below. My friends, thank you very much for watching another book review. I hope to see you here again next week, where we'll be reading a book that I don't have to hand, but I will pop it up right there, and more information about that book will be in the video description below. Something about tranquility? We'll see if I'm right. I've not started that one yet, but it's a book that I believe is about time travel. Which is, and it's highly rated, so I am eager to get stuck into it. I've just bought it on the fly, and I apologise that I don't have it with me and I haven't memorised the name. That is my fault entirely. Thank you very much for watching this book review. I hope to see you here again soon. Bye bye.